Hey everybody, it's Siobhan. I haven't made a YouTube video like this in a really long time and I want to get back into it. So this is my very simple way of doing so. I'm just going to talk about some records that I've been playing. Specifically yesterday I played a lot of records, so I want to just talk about them. I'll also talk about some bands that I've seen live recently that I picked up some stuff from, and just show a bunch of records. So if there's anything here that you like, and if there's anything here you're curious about, drop me a little comment or whatever. Let's keep the love flowing. So the first thing I listened to yesterday was this Tete Montoliu, Catalonian folk songs. It's a solo piano record. Solo piano music is like, I think it's so beautiful. I've been getting into it a lot recently. I just thought this cover looked cool. I don't really know much about the guy. The record is good. It's not super descript. It's got kind of like a jazzy vibe. But yeah, if anyone's got any more recommendations for like cheap records I can get that have like solo guitar or solo piano, I'd be really into that because this is just like a style I've been really digging a lot, playing a lot around the house recently. Speaking of which, Ronnie Aldrich and his two pianos. It's not really a solo piano record, it's really piano forward. You have these like hard panned pianos, one in each ear, that are definitely very forward in the mix. It's great. This is actually a really underrated record. It borders on like easy listening or just kind of lounge, you know, or like chill out. But I think the compositions are really memorable and really good. I really like the first track. All of side A and all of it is honestly really great. I would highly recommend this. I was not expecting to like this record nearly as much as I do. Yeah, super cheap, like easy listening piano jazz ballads from the 50s or 60s. The Pentangle is another group that I feel like I've been listening to a lot more recently. Kind of folky stuff. This is a very good record. The first song is crazy, Light Flight. But yeah, really, really nice. Cool reprise label right there. Yeah, this was a dollar bin find. It's seen better days, but the music is really good, and there's only really a couple sections that get crunchy. So it's still very, very listenable copy. And to find something like this in a dollar bin is awesome. Richie Havens, 1983. I didn't listen to this whole thing. There's a couple songs on it that I really like. Basically the first two songs. The first song is kind of like an intro psych jam. Pretty cool. But the second song is called For Haven's Sake. And wow, what a fantastic song. Probably my favorite Richie Havens song. There's the Verb Forecast label right there. Yeah, Richie Havens is really good. I feel like he's almost like a bit of a forgotten voice now from the Woodstock era. Just really, really great, like psychedelic folk. He does a lot of covers, and his voice is just so soulful. It's a nice balance between like soul and like folk and blues. Herbie Hancok, Manchild. This is just so funky. There's really nothing else to be said about it. It is perhaps a more basic and less otherworldly listen than the other two Headhunters records, Headhunters and Thrust. But this is the only one that I still needed from that trilogy. I'm so happy to have it. It's a great record. It's just so funky and so groovy. Yeah. It's been a while since I had listened to this. This was kind of like a special treat, it felt like last night. I love King Crimson. And I'm working on collecting all of their albums, basically. I don't have any of the really late stuff, like the 90s stuff or the record from the 2000s. But I'm, I think, like 2 records away from having all of their 60s through 80s stuff. And this is just a no-brainer. I mean, everyone has said what they think about this. I think it's just really heavy and really awesome. Totally otherworldly, and listening to it while having the vinyl too and looking at the art is just a wild experience. It's crazy to think that somebody would have done this with this exact copy in the U.S. in 1969. So it's cool to have. This is a piece of history, you know. Snowflakes Are Dancing. This is pretty cheap find. Sounds awesome. Very classical, but it's all like kind of like progressive electronic synth, like primitive synthesizer stuff. Very like analog synth based. As you can see, there's a photo of the artist with like all these knobs behind them. Always a good sign. If you see a photo like that, it's a good sign. On that RCA red seal. Yeah, this is great. This label doesn't have the dog. It doesn't have the dog on it, but it's still awesome. I had never listened to this album before owning it. It was really cheap, and I'm blown away by it. This is, you know, it kind of fits in with my love of like solo piano or solo guitar music. A little more ambient, new agey. Found it in the new age section, and just blown away. Really, really great record. Charles Lloyd. I have a couple of Charles Lloyd records here. Now this is interesting. Like these albums are very good. Like jazz fusion, jazz rock, funk, even psychedelia, even spiritual jazz on here. Like really, really cool fusion of sounds and styles. Pretty unpredictable listens. This is Waves and Geeta. These are both early 70s Charles Lloyd records. And what's crazy is that I got these pretty recently, and I felt like I'd heard the name before, but in looking through the jazz and, fusion sections that I have here, I didn't find any Charles Lloyd. But funny enough, I do actually have a different Charles Lloyd record. It's hiding over here. This record, Big Sur Tapestry, and it's in an entirely different section because this is like a new age ambient sort of super sparse and wide, not at all like funky or anything, just very like ambient recording. So that was really cool to kind of be reminded of Charles Lloyd and to learn a little bit more about Charles Lloyd's music because wow, what a great artist. Both of these albums I listened to yesterday are fantastic, and Big Sur Tapestry was an easy pick as I've been leaning towards that kind of ambient, spacey style of jazz recently. And finally, we have an all-time classic. I had been needing a copy of this for a while. I got a great deal on it. The record's seen better days, and the cover is kind of in rough shape, but with a record like this, like the music just speaks for itself. It doesn't need to look great. It doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be perfect. These records got played, but this is an old copy. It's just fantastic. There really isn't much more to say about this record. I mean, what more can be said about one of the most classic soul albums of all time? Right, so that's a bunch of stuff that I played recently. I'm also going to quickly show some music from bands that I've seen recently as well, just because I want to. This is Sun Organ's Candlelight Showertime. This is a really, really, really good, like, heavy shoegaze dreamo album. Just fantastic. I'll probably make a video about Sun Organ soon where I show more of the stuff of theirs that I have. But I feel pretty lucky that they still had vinyl copies of this. Not the most popular group, pretty obscure, but I set up a show for them that they played in Chicago about a week ago. It was a great show. And I was super happy to see this at the merch table, so of course I scored it. The guys also gave me a tour poster, which I threw in here, and it's on some beautiful, I don't know if you can see that well. It's like blue vinyl, cool label. The label's called Blight Records. And yeah, I'll make a more in-depth video about Sun Organ at some point because I really like this band and it's just been a thrill working with them and getting to set up that show. I have a few cassettes as well to show here. This is Donkey Basketball Planet. This is Isaac, who is the drummer from Lifeguard. I got this cassette a long time ago, but I just booked Donkey Basketball to play a show at the record shop that I work at. It was a great show. Attendance was low, but his set was just fantastic. It's absolutely otherworldly, like IDM, electronic music, experimental electronic, ambient mix, techno. Yeah, just really, really, really cool stuff. And Lifeguard is, of course, really great too. This is a plastic Crimewave Syndicate bootleg tape. One side is plastic Crimewave Syndicate, the other side is Mainliner, which is one of many different groups that Makoto Kawabata of Acid Mother's Temple plays in. It's kind of like a noise rock trio. I got this in a little tape trade with Steve, who is a plastic Crimewave. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm really excited to listen to it. I know it's going to be like some just blaringly insane psych rock. Really looking forward to it. Meeting Steve was a really special experience. So, and I will also show a bunch of Acid Mother's stuff in a coming video. It's one of my favorite bands. Possibly my favorite live band to see at the moment. This is the last thing I'll show. This is Thick Paint. I do not know a whole lot about this cassette. I got it off of this guy, Amin Waba, who plays on the record. Really, really cool artwork. But he played a solo show in Chicago that I was lucky enough to also play on, and I got this cassette there. Yeah. I'm going to try to make this a more regular thing. I'm going to try to talk to the camera at least, I don't know. I'm not going to make any rules because I was on a streak earlier this year, and I need to revive it. I really like doing this. Thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.